So we are back today with another recipe share. This is one of our family favorites. It is a West African dish. My husband, like I've mentioned before, is from Ghana, so this is one of the soups he grew up eating. It's peanut butter soup, so if you're interested in learning how to make this dish, then please stay tuned. Now, I've seen peanut butter soup made with chicken and even rabbit before, but I always make mine with smoked turkey. I like the flavor that it brings. So here I am putting the smoked turkey in the crock pot with some vegetable broth, just because that's what I happen to have. I would normally use chicken broth. And I cooked this in the crock pot on high. I set it for 4 hours initially. I ended up cooking it more like 6 hours though. So here I am, and for this next step, you'll need a food processor or a blender. I'm using my mini food processor to save time. Don't do what I did, guys. Just use your big food processor if you have one. So here I'm blending the onion, the ginger, and the garlic all together. And then I'm going to empty that into the pot with a little bit of olive oil. The pot is not on at this point. I'm just emptying it out to make more room in my food processor. And then I'm processing the tomato here. And once I finish processing the tomato, then I add the peanut butter in at this stage as well to mix that together. A tip that I've been given is to always blend your peanut butter with your tomato to help enhance the flavor. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so just to recap, this is a mixture of my blended onion, garlic, ginger, tomato, chili, and peanut butter, and that's all now in the pot, and I am cooking that, as you can see, over low heat. And I cook this in total for about 30 minutes. I always try for a minimum of 30 minutes. Some cook it longer, they like it a little bit darker, and some may even cook it shorter. But yeah, so here I'm showing you the ingredients that I actually use to mix into my food processor. And again, I'm cooking that over that low heat for about 30 minutes. Guys, it does pop a bit when you're cooking it, so just be careful of you watching out for that, because I've gotten one of the worst burns I've ever had cooking from peanut butter soup that popped up and got me. Now this is after about 10 minutes of cooking. You want to make sure that you are constantly stirring the peanut butter soup, because you don't want the peanut butter to stick to the bottom and get burnt, or else your soup will have a not so yummy flavor. It'll be a little burnt. So yeah, just continue mixing the entire time. This is not a dish that you can walk away from while you're cooking, not at this point anyway. So here you can see the oil is starting to separate from the peanut butter, and this is after about 10 minutes of cooking. So I want to keep going. I'm getting a nice dark flavor here, but it's not quite ready yet, not for my liking anyway. So I'm continuing to cook and continuing to stir until we reach this stage, and this is after 30 total minutes of cooking. You can see the oil has separated from the peanut butter and that it has that nice rich flavor. So I've turned the fire off at this point, and now I am going to strain this mixture. Now this, I'm going to go over and check on my turkey. Again, this is after about 6 hours of cooking. Once I checked on that turkey, I actually went ahead and started to shred it off camera, and I also strained my peanut butter mixture off camera. I was filming myself and I only had one hand, so I'm sorry I wasn't able to film that part. But yeah, I just used my strainer and that big pink spoon you saw me using to strain it through, and I poured some vegetable broth to help it kind of go through the strainer. So here I'm showing you the shredded turkey that I'm returning to the pot, and I know that this looks a little crazy, but in my family we actually really love the skin and the bones and the flavor they give to the soup. So I shredded the chicken, but I included the skin and the bones in the soup when I put it all back. Now these are the spices that I'm using in my soup. I always use onion powder, garlic powder, a little thyme, and bouillon cubes and black pepper, but I added smoked paprika for the first time ever, just because I thought it would bring out some of the smokiness of the turkey, and y'all, it was really good. So I've added those spices in now. You'll see I didn't have salt as one of those seasonings at this point because I used the bouillon cubes. So I wanted to see how much salt flavor they would bring before I add any table salt. So here, after tasting it, I decided that it did need a little salt, so there you saw me sprinkling that in. And now I'm also adding some vegetable broth just to thin out my soup a bit before I go to the final phase of cooking it. So mixed in that salt, I turned it over low heat and set a timer for 20 minutes for that soup to cook. It cooked for 20 minutes, and here we have our finished peanut butter soup. So here we are with our delicious bowl of yumminess. Guys, peanut butter soup is such a rich and flavorful dish. I had mine over brown rice. My husband had his over jasmine rice. It is also traditionally served with rice balls. It's good that way as well. But this dish is so good. It takes a little bit of time, but it is absolutely well worth it. So I hope that you will take the time to try this recipe out. And if you do, please let me know how it turns out for you. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please take the time to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and share this video with others. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, y'all.